So we just got the ToQgers and Boonboomgers crossover, and wow, it blew me away. Now it goes without saying that ToQgers is my favorite Sentai season. I love the characters, I love the villains, and I love the story. I literally consider it to be a masterpiece. But if you didn't know that, you should definitely go and check out my review on it. Link in the description down below. But when I heard that the Boonboomgers were going to collab with the ToQgers, I knew we were in for greatness. And just like with the Kingohger and Kyoryuger episodes, Toei delivered. One thing that this episode does different rather than the Go-Onger episode is using the ToQgers characters for the actual plot. Really, the only thing that we got with Go On Red coming back was Boon Boon Mariner and Boon Boon Safari, which were inspired by Speedor. Which, I mean, yeah, that's a smidge of plot, but nowhere near the amount of plot that this one was involved in. But without further ado, let's get right into the episode. We start off this episode with Homura taking care of Gimba after his fight with Disrace. And of course, they're inside of a railroad station. But Gimba is still dead set on getting his revenge on Disrace, even though he's injured. But that's when our boy Akira starts playing his theme song, looking back at the three. Meanwhile, the others are making their champion jackets, which I cannot wait to see in the next episode. But that's not the focus for today, bringing us back to the others, where Akira states his name after Homura calls him Buddy. This line stood out to me a lot, because we know how important Akira's name is to him. It's his new name that the ToQgers gave to him, and it signifies him taking a new path in life. Anyways, he mentions that he's a ToQger, which confuses Homura, but Gimba tries to leave. But Homura mentions how beat up he is and that he doesn't stand a chance against Disrace, which sets him off. This of course leads to Akira suggesting a way for them to resolve their issue. But if you guys want to see more episode reviews like this one, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, now we get into the main plot of the episode with Team Rocket making a train monster. But hilariously it backfires on him, making him into a train conga line type of deal. So this sends the Rangers out, letting Mira and Ishiro get attached with Joe. Back to the others, Akira tells the other two to wrestle? Yeah, this is definitely a ToQger special. But I wonder if he's talking about Wagon or the actual conductor here. Since at this point in the timeline, Wagon should be the conductor. And I mean, she's into some weird shit, so I guess it makes sense. But this does get them talking, with Homura repeating what he said about not wanting to drag others into his issues. Basically trying to tell him to get over himself and join back with the others. But I do like that Homura mentions that Gimba is different, but it's okay to be different. It's what sets us apart from one another. But what's important is sticking together as a unit, which for Homura is huge, because for a while there he was against the Rangers technically. But then Gimba mentions that this is his only chance to get revenge, that if he doesn't do it now, he will never get another shot. And I absolutely love the parallels here between Gimba and Akira, who are both coincidentally Orange Rangers, who are both non-human characters, with Akira being a former Shadow Kaijin and Gimba being an alien from the planet Breaky. But not only that, they both feel like they are unwanted or won't be missed. 10 years ago, Akira left the Rainbow Line to protect his friends, to take out Zet alongside Schwartz. And even before that, he was a lone hero protecting the Rainbow Line before meeting the ToQgers. Whereas Gimba doesn't want to get the others involved in his revenge plot against Disrace. So they both try to go down the path of being a lone wolf. Yet he claims if he doesn't kill Disrace, he doesn't deserve to live. And that's when we get the signature Akira line, but reflecting Gimba. So you're looking for a place to die. And I don't get why Toei decided to make me relive ToQger trauma, specifically with the scene where Right leaves his friends behind. And all of this is supposedly for an Akira scene. My guess is that it's because he did protect the rainbow at that point, but whatever. But I swear, Homura might be the funniest character in the entire show, cause he says that he doesn't see the connection, that Akira seems pretty alive to him right now. Which the only reason why Akira is still alive is because of the last couple episodes of ToQger, where Akira realizes he doesn't want to be a lone wolf anymore, and wants to be alive to protect his friends and watch them grow up. Anyways, the train then comes chugging along, picking up Akira, Byun D, and Gimba. Which, can I say, this man Akira got dragged into this mess, but instead of being like, what the hell, he's just like, this is another Tuesday for me. Like, Akira has dealt with 10 times worse bullshit than this. Anyways, now 5 out of our 6 Boonboomgers know who this man is now. But then Homura tries to save them, but if he hits them, they will explode. Yeah, these dudes just have exploding trains. Bruh, I can't. These guys are literally Sentai Team Rocket. You cannot prove me wrong. Anyways, then Taya comes in to say they won't stop the train. Instead, they will lay down a whole new railroad track. And man, was this a cool scene with them laying out the train tracks. It really is embracing the whole ToQger style of taking out the monster of the week, with cool and interesting tactics. And wouldn't you know it, it actually works. But that's when Akira mentions that Taya's imagination reminds him of Right's. And I guess it makes sense when you think about it. Like, Taya and his team take out these monsters all the time with these weird and wacky ways. So I guess in theory he does have that wild, childlike imagination. And let's not forget about his childhood dream to be a fireman, which he sorta got with Boon 119. But speaking of Right, he is finally back. And together with Homura and Taya, they release a bunch of tickets freeing the conga line. And apparently Ticket was saying Gabu Gabu and Gotcha Gotcha. I just found this funny considering the 2 episodes that it was airing alongside, so I just wanted to mention it. And that's when we get to the glorious roll call with Right bringing into their roll call. And I love that Homura just goes with Right's roll call here, and he even strikes a pose while the others are like, what the fuck? But now to the main part of the show with Right taking on the Hashilians with the team. And obviously the ToQger opening playing here was a nice touch, and actually upgraded the scene a lot. And I like that Toei decided to have him transfer to both yellow and green, 2 colors that the Boonboomgers don't have. Also, this shows off the main mechanic of the show being transfers excellently, which I'm sure anyone who hasn't seen ToQger is thinking that that was cool. And I'm really glad that they still kept Right's fighting style here, with him being an energetic and bouncy fighter like his younger self. But all of this leads to Gemba sitting out and Akira questioning, why is he wanting to die even with all these friends he has? And I absolutely love this line. In the final arc of ToQger, Akira is willing to sacrifice his own life to save the ToQger's town. So he jumps into the shadow and nearly dies. And the ToQgers tell him never to do that again, that they would be saddened by losing their friend. And again, they mention the same deal in the 10 years later film. Akira was looking for someone to protect when he was going wild, which was his friends. So when the tank top kaijin attacks Right, he jumps in to protect him. But this shows that Akira cares so much about his friends. But anyways, I definitely feel like this message hit Gemba, since he looks back shocked and asks what he means by that. So I feel like next episode will have Gemba defining what this statement means to him. But in my opinion, this was the best way to use Akira in this specific situation, showing the parallels between both characters, with Akira showing how much he has changed since we last saw him. But anyways, getting back to the fight, we see our boys getting ready for the final attack. And again, Right's imagination is on fire, allowing him to see the monster's last stop. So he creates 2 train tracks trapping the kaijin. And again, mixing these 2 shows together allows for both teams to be a creative unit, with them sending 2 tires blasting the kaijin with a cranked up rainbow drive. But now it's time for the mecha fight with the Boonboomgers coming out. But hilariously, Byun D has motion sickness, so Right loans Homura the trains. And I'm so glad that Toei brought back the mecha just like they did with the Kyoryuger crossover and the Go-Onger crossover. But unlike those times, Homura gets to pilot the trains. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't completely know how I feel about this new cockpit. It's not horrible, but I think the original cockpit was just better. And since they plan on using this mecha even more, I don't know why they didn't spend the extra dollars to try to make it look a little bit better. Anyways, it was nice to see the train formation again, but now we have a problem. Homura can't figure out how to pilot the damn thing, so he decides to chunk the thing and replace it with his own. And to be fair, I don't blame Homura, this thing looks complicated as hell. And man is it good to see this mecha back in action. And even though they used stock footage here, they blended it in so well with the non-stock footage. Anyways, the other Boonboomgers lay out a bunch of train tracks, creating a giant ToQ Ichigo symbol, which I love, and trap the kaiju. And that's when Right tells the group to imagine their finishing attack. And I love this scene with all the Rangers imagining their final blow. It really captures the energy of ToQger excellently, and is exactly how some of the biggest moments of ToQger fights would work. And Taya mirrors the words of Right saying that he can see it, as the 2 teams strike down the kaiju with a cranked up imagination, boom boom finish. And honestly, this might be the best mecha fight in Boonboomger, but I guess we'll have to see. But now we get to my favorite scene in the entire episode, with Right de-transforming on a rooftop with a rainbow. Right then says the iconic line that he can see it, them making their dreams come true, as he walks away with a smile on his face, with the final shot being a rainbow. This alone just made the entire episode for me a 10 out of 10. And when I saw this live while Superhero Time was airing, I'm gonna be honest, I actually cried for a solid 10 minutes after it. And that's because Right's line is one that hits me every single time, and comforts me when times are rough. It reminds us that when times are tough, just try to see the road to victory. But anyways, apparently Right wasn't even supposed to appear out of suit this episode. This was a last minute addition apparently requested by June, who is Right's actor. And honestly, I think having him appear outside of suit actually elevated this scene. And of course they added on the ToQger soundtrack, making it hit you even more in the feels. Cause now we get to see our boy all grown up technically, and he still has his smile and imagination. And according to Akira's actor, they only had 2 to 3 hours to do both the voiceover and this scene specifically. But I love the reason why he decided to want to come back in person. Apparently one morning he was watching Ryu Soldier and it had been 5 years since ToQger. He felt sentimental thinking about Right and how he's an adult now. He wanted to see everyone again and promised he would try his best to get back. Which for his sake, I really hope that we get to see the rest of the cast members again. Which is highly likely since Right left the trains with the Boonboomgers. So I'm really interested in how they're going to use the trains in this series, considering how they use Kyoryuger and Kingohger. But I fully believe that someone from the team will return to retrieve the trains because I'm pretty sure that's how they transform. But Jun did leave a message about coming back, saying that he enjoyed working with everyone and that he had fun doing the shoot even though it was short. He was touched by everyone on the team that continues to work hard to make dreams come true, and he thanks everyone for being fans of ToQger. Anyways, we did get a bit of a hidden ToQger reference towards the end, with the traffic safety tip being a subtle reference to a scene out of the ToQger opening. It's the little things like this that put a smile on my face for crossovers. I'd say my only real complaint about this crossover is that we didn't get to see Akira transform. Though I think having the Gemba and Akira plot being a bigger focus than them taking on the Hashilians was a way better choice. But there is still hope that Akira could come back and retrieve the trains and fight alongside the Boonboomgers. Now where I'm really confused is how this places into the ToQger timeline, because the 10 years later movie takes place in 2025, and the ToQgers don't have their imagination, unless they actually did create a time paradox where the ToQgers never lost their imagination as they grow up. But with that, I really wonder what we're gonna get moving forward with the ToQger 10th anniversary. And I hope that we get a full crossover movie between the two teams, unlike the Kingohger versus Kyoryugers. And by that I mean make the Kingohger film 1 hour and the ToQger movie 1 hour. Do I think Toei will do it? Likely not, but let me dream. But overall, this episode hit me the same way the Kyoryuger two-parter did for me with Kingohger. Now obviously I hadn't seen Kyoryuger when I started watching Kingohger, so I didn't catch every reference, but it definitely did make me emotional and made me want to start Kyoryuger. But comparing this episode to the Go-Onger episode, this one is leagues ahead. But I think the only thing we can really blame for that was that we were still very early on into Boonboomger. I think we were at either episode 9 or 10, so there really wasn't much plot compared to this one. But with that said, I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I'm Falplays, and I'm out. Peace.